Current rates survive kata maura mayo
current rates say no balance kaka survive gino.
Dongala nyalo buka mondo tuom pigno mondo.
O tuom pig. Maize natural. Dekoro gino sa ton. Alafu nene ma okina. Ine bedo
Neno kara wach ma tuom pig mabona no. Mano onge kaka nyalo.
Which one ma keno tie?
Hey, Toriyo kana madi mana?
Chuk koje wadi kacha cha.
Wallahi.
Gin gara kai.
Kata la kula ogirwa ko kata jodala wa.
Gin gara kai.
Toriyo kana madi donjika.
Kuzezi bad. Na mtoneza zifuza tu.
Yogi magoni ni.
Dagu bedu nuka kadua bedu.
Birika mai ngama nyatiri mus.
Tongkai ma wa itu cha.
Bere bateka.
Igeuza upside down, pole.
Acha tushike samaki kwa mkono alafu unyoroshe picha bwana.
Okay.
Fish farmers are just engaging in some sort of blanket sort of investment. Exactly intend to bring these two partners on board. Okay. My name is Angela Odero. I'm the chairperson of the Commercial Aquaculture Association of Kenya. Okay. We represent the Commercial Aquaculture Association of Kenya. We are a group of Kenyan cage fish farmers in Lake Victoria. Our farms range from large to mid-size, and together we are responsible for most of Kenya's fish production volume from aquaculture. We take this opportunity to note that cage farming is a key sector in Kenyan aquaculture. Cage farming promises significant development opportunities directly and indirectly across associated value chains that can create jobs, enhance incomes, and strengthen food security for many communities. Cage culture is sensitive to other resource users and is recognized to have significant potential for enhancing fish production. There has recently been a massive sudden death of fish in cages in Kisumu. Prominent research scientists from Kenya Marine Fisheries Research Institute, KEMFRI, are attributing the deaths to suffocation due to a natural process called upwelling. This is a typical feature of lakes, especially Lake Victoria, which tend to separate into layers and develop cold, lower oxygenated levels at deeper depths. When fish come into contact with this colder, lower oxygenated water, it can result in shock and suffocation. Fish in cages that are not situated in the appropriate areas are particularly susceptible to this, as they are confined within a space, unlike wild fish that can easily swim and move to warmer, higher oxygenated areas during such an event. These incidences can be further exacerbated by pollution inflow into the lake, for example, from sewage and industrial waste. Discharges directly into the lake lead to a reduction in dissolved oxygen concentration in water bodies, hence reducing the suitability of these for aquaculture. To mitigate the risks of this happening again, we propose 1. Site selection for cage aquaculture. Cages that are sited in deeper, open water are less susceptible to upwelling impacts. Governance frameworks that work towards planning and guiding siting of cages for aquaculture development is necessary. 2. Applying best management practices. We are also cognizant of the fact that best management practices in general, such as floating feeds rather than sinking feeds, or maintaining stocking within limits and non-hazardous sourcing of fingerlings is imperative to exacerbate the impact of farming in our water system. As an association, we are ready to work with both the county and national governments and cage farms to promote appropriate and sustainable fish husbandry practices, as well as support the growth of aquaculture in an environmentally sustainable manner. Commercial Aquaculture Association of Kenya has worked closely with the government of Kenya, actively engaging on the aquaculture regulations in 2021, and most recently in 2022, the Sustainable Activities in Water Areas (SAWA project, where the government is leading the development of a spatial plan and carrying capacity assessment for Lake Victoria, key tools in managing user conflicts and ensuring environmental sustainability of Lake Victoria. In conclusion, I wish to state the following. There is a need to implement a regulatory framework that clearly sets out the requirements, including siting, for cage aquaculture. there are specific guidelines on cage fish farming. Sighting is a huge consideration. Minimum depths of 7 to 8 meters are required. Farming practices like the right quality of feed need to be enforced. Pollution is a key issue in Lake Victoria. The government needs to take action on reducing the release of effluent, such as factory waste and raw sewage, into the lake.
It is possible that we have farmers who are engaging in less than appropriate practices. However, there are clear guidelines for good farm management, and those guidelines are available with Chem-Free and Kenya Fisheries Service. And if you follow those guidelines, because aquaculture is about science, if you follow those guidelines, then we will not have incidents such as we have had recently with the significant fish kills. It would be important to have an all-inclusive strategy to deal with pollution. We cannot rely solely on NEMA or a specific county government. A lot of awareness needs to be created on the consequences of pollution, and a clear understanding needs to be communicated on the consequences of our actions to the environment. We need to understand that we are harming our children and our children's children. So if that understanding is made clear, I believe that we should be able to reduce incidences of pollution.